Hello out there in YouTube and Google Plus land. It's finally dry enough I can get out here and do something. I'm getting drowned here. We've had maybe in the last week or so over 10 inches of rain, so the ground down here is literally just soggy. It is really bad. But that's not the point of this video. As you can tell from the title, I've got something going on that I wanted to share with you. It involves this and this. So stick around, we'll find out what's up. This is Surviving 2 coming to you with another video. Well, thanks for sticking around, I appreciate it. What I got is my GSI cup here. And I've also got, this is what they call a thermal bed pad. I took a big section of it, and I'll show you it in there a second when I get inside the shed. And I cut it out to use in my hammock. So that way I can have a thermal barrier between me and the outside. And I'm gonna hopefully make a thermal cover for this around the outside of it with this. So hang in there and I'll be right back in a couple of seconds. All right, here we are at the workbench, tabletop, whatever you want to call it. All right, I've got this stuff. Like I said, I'm going to put it on the outside, make a thermal barrier for that so I can keep things warm, keep it cool, whatever the case may be. Because I cook in this a lot and I make drinks in it and stuff like that. So this is what I'm going to be using here, some of this stuff. Now, like I said, I've got a big roll of it here. It was actually a lot bigger. It was attached to that, and I cut that much off because this is the width of my hammock bliss hammock that I use when I go out and go camping a lot of times. So I made it wide enough to go into there, and then I got this section left over. Well, we're going to take that section and see if we can't use it to cut up and make a sleeve for this right here. Now I've got some, it's kind of like aluminum tape right here, and it's the real thin, easy to use stuff. I've also got some harder, some actual metal tape, but I don't want to use that. That's gonna be a little too much. So I'm gonna have to cut this down into sections and cut it into strips, because I gotta have a bottom for this to go under there, and then something to go around the side and cut it to where the handles won't interfere too much. But I gotta leave it to where I can have the handles working. So let me monkey with that a little bit, and I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Okay, I've got a section of it cut out here. I took it and wrapped it around the cup and measured it out and cut it off. I used a square also to square the material up. That way I'm cutting a nice straight edge. I used a kind of like a box cutter to do it with. I got a permanent marker. Now what I need to do is take this thing and slide it up here underneath the handles, but all the way up against the lip of the cup. Let's see if I can get that up there and get it where I want it. Actually, I'm going to start on the other side because the other side was my straight edge. So I'm going to start it here, and I'm going to take and mark where my handle is. And I want it marked where my handle was when I got it up against here. This part, I'll probably just cut all this section out. I'm just going to cut over and cut up. Now what I want is about halfway between the two handles, so that way I've got a place to tape all this together, and I want right about there. So now what I'm going to do is take my square and put it down and square that edge off and square that up and mark it and then cut it out again. Once I get that done, I'll be right back. Okay, continuing on in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I got another little marking tool. The other one, my square, it kept the blade up too high. I've got this one that I can turn it to all different angles. So what I'm going to do is put it square with my edge of my material and hold it steady, then take and cut it. That way I can be cutting straight edges. Okay, got that cut. Do the same thing here. Hold it straight with the edge of the material. Cut it down. And then that should be it. Hopefully that's going to pop out. Yep, there we go. Okay, I got that section out. So now that allows me to be right here. And it doesn't interfere. This stuff is thin enough, it doesn't interfere with the handles folding up a little bit. And I can't do it to this cup because this cup nests inside of there, so I wouldn't be doing it to this one. So this is the main one I want to do it to. So now what I'm going to do is come around over here, hold that one in place, and mark where I want to cut here, and cut basically the same pattern out and leave it overlap a little bit, and then I'll cut that out. So bear with me, I'm going to get started on marking that up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got both sides cut out, and naturally this one's a little bigger because it's going to wrap. So let's take it and stick it up here and see how it does. See how everything lines up. Not bad, not bad. So I've got it to where it's lining up a little bit. I can shift the cup a little bit once I put it together. Now what I can do is I can take my marker, I'm going to mark down along this edge and then cut that. And then I hopefully will be able to put the two pieces together, and then I'll have to cut the bottom section here off to where I want it and use this excess to make my bottom round piece. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, I got that piece cut out, so now we got three little pieces that are basically junk. I don't think I can do anything with those small pieces. This should be cut to length. After I made my mark up here at this top, while I had it together, I went ahead and marked down here at the bottom. I held my little cutter here, my straight edge, along that mark, and actually took a fraction away from it, maybe about 1/16 of an inch. So that way, hopefully they will line up to where I can tape them together, and there's going to be a little bit of room. See if I can, yeah, I should be able to slide that in and out. So that way if I wanted to slide this thing off, I can. I might want just a fraction more taken off because it's still a little too loose, but not too bad. Yeah, it's still just a little, it's hard to get this thing held in one spot. I'm actually using the handle to help kind of hold it. All right, let's get back straight there. There you go. And get this other side up tight. I don't know, that might not be too bad. So I'm gonna probably let that go and run me a piece of tape down across here, and we'll see what's up. This stuff is really, really thin. So what I'm gonna do is just take and pull it off. Hopefully just lay it right there and get it real quick. And then cut the excess off here. Yep, there it went. And I'm not worried if this stays together or not. Main thing, I want it together right in here, and that'd be good and solid. So there we go. That's got it together. Now if I take my handles and open them up, hopefully that, yeah, it'll slide on and off a little bit. Hopefully not too easily, but it looks like it is. So that means that when I pick it up, it's liable to slide off. So I got to have it a little bit tighter. So that tape, I'm going to have to take and cut a section out of it and make it a little bit tighter. So more details later. I'll be right back once I get that taken care of. Okay, I tried cutting just a really small section, about a 1/16 of an inch out of it, and it ended up fraying the foam and everything. Maybe my blade's getting dull just cutting this stuff, don't know. What I'm going to do instead, I've taken a second piece and wrapped around this edge, so I'm just going to overlap the two of them and say to heck with trying to butt it. Now one thing is when I overlap that other piece, when I overlapped that other piece, I ended up with an edge sticking out here, so I got to trim that off. There we go. That's got that. So now I should be able to stick all this in here. That handle to pin it down. Then wrap this around good and tight. Get that handle to pin that one down. Alright, now I've got it pretty tight. And I've got it overlapping here. I really didn't want that, but I don't see any way around it right now because I cut it so short. I might be able to trim it with the scissors. These might work better than trying to do a straight, but doing a straight edge, we'll see. So I think I'm going to try that. I'm going to try the scissors and see if I can't cut it real close. And I'll get right back to you and let you know how that worked out. Okay, I took it and I cut it. And I pulled, there's a small piece there, and then I ended up cutting a couple of more times to get it good and tight together and flush together. So I've got some tape here. Now what all I need to do is be able to have 5 hands while trying to do this. It's stuck to my fingers. Alright, there we go. Let's see if I can get that together. And get it to adhere about halfway decent. There we go. Oh man, I think, yeah, it's separated. So now I'm stuck with trying to pull this stuff, and let me tell you, this is some good tape. There we go. Got it off. It pulled some of the foam off, so hopefully I can use this other end once I can get it adhered. There again, I need about 5 hands to try and do this. Oh, come on. This stuff sticks to itself really well. It's really good tape. So that's as good as I can get it. I'm going to get the scissors and trim this edge up right in here. Then I'll figure out where I need to cut for my cup. But with the tape adhered to these, there we go, to the handles. Let's see if it pulls off, but does it fall off? No falling. So we're going to be good to go. I'm going to take that and see if I can't, maybe I can just wrap this on around. Nope, it won't let me do it. I'm going to have to take and nip it. Right there. And right there. Now let's see if it'll fold over and inside. There we go. Let's see how that fits. Yep, slides on pretty good. Maybe the tape on the inside will help keep it there too. And no, it does not fall off. So far so good. All right, I'm gonna cut the base, figure out where I need to do that, and then cut the base, and then I'll be right back to you again. Well, I lied to you. I haven't cut it yet. I wanted to show you what I was doing here. I've got my other cup here, and I needed a line straight around this thing so that I know where to cut and I'm not waving all over the place. So I put my pin up there, spun it around, marked it. Now I can take scissors and cut it out, and that should give me a pretty straight line. And I wanted it up high enough to where when I cut my circular piece to go in the bottom, I can slide the piece down in there and trim to the edge of it. So that way it's a fairly straight and flat bottom. So give me a minute and I'll get going on this. All right, I've got this cut, and that's the piece I had left over. Only thing is, it's not wide enough, so that's going to be extra. I went ahead and took the spare roll I had and cut me another piece for here. So now I got to mark this one and do a temporary cut on it and see how it fits, slide it off down in there, and then see how it works. And we'll probably take this and put some tape on it, so that way it kind of stiffens it up a little bit. Now I'm not trying to fight this natural curve of it like that. So let me do all that and I'll be back to you in just a second and show you what's up. Okay, I've got it laying flat. I took about 4 runs of tape and I overlapped them a little more than halfway and got it on there. So now I can take this and undo it and slide it off and throw it up there and hopefully be able to mark the inside of that. And that'll give me, I'll cut on the outside of the line, so that'll give me a little extra, so if I need to trim it up here and there, I can. So what I'll do is take my marker and see if I can very carefully, and I'm not going to be able to very carefully. I've got a stinking nervous condition, so my hands shake a lot. So I got to try and hold this in place somehow or get some marks on it, and I'm not going to bore you with that. while I fight with this thing. I'll be back once I get it done and get the first cutout done, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, I got it marked and I got it cut out. Ha ha ha. How about that? Now, let's see how we're doing. When I put it down on there, it's about the thickness of the material, too wide. So what I got to do is cut around it about the thickness of this material, and hopefully I will have my piece that I can put down inside there, and then I can try and tape it in place, and we'll see where we go from there. The next will be putting more tape on the bottom of it and seeing if I can't hold the thing together. So, all right, I'll be back in a second. Okay, as you can see, I've taken a small amount off of it, about the thickness of the material. So let's see. Yeah, how about that? Fits right in there pretty good. Not bad, a little loose, but hey, I can live with that. So now what I got to do is trim this outer material down to the height of this. And what I'll probably do is hold this and go along here like that. And mark this. And then take the scissors and cut this other one off to the level I need it. And if I'm a little off, no big deal. Okay, there, I got it all marked. Slide that off there. Yep, marked pretty good all the way around. All right, now I'll just take the scissors and whack all that off, and I'll be back to you in a second. To me, it'll be a little bit. Okay, I got it cut down, and my piece that goes in there, not too bad. That'll work pretty good. A little gappy on the sides, but hey, that's all right. The tape will fix it. It's like caulk will fix anything. So I can fill in the gaps and just pull them tight and stretch pieces over it and see how that works out. I might have an issue with the tape buckling, so I might have to get a little creative with it. Again, I'm not going to put you through that, having to watch all that. I'm going to go ahead and do it, then I'll come back to you and show you what I've done with it. So, like I say, I'll be back in a second for y'all. Okay, I've about finished it as far as putting the bottom and the tape on there. I got the last piece. I wanted to show you how I was doing that. I crisscrossed it, made an X pattern, then I filled in with another X pattern off to the rotated on that. So what I do is I get the center to lay down, then I take the edge and put a pair of scissors and snip it to where I've got it cut, as you can see right there. Then I'll take that piece and I'll kind of hold it tight and hold up under the edge and get it to lay down flat like that. You probably won't be able to see that, but I get it to lay down flat. Then I'll take this other edge and I'll pull it tight. Oops, I can hold on to it. Try and pull it tight and straight. That way I don't get any ripples in the tape. So that's pretty smooth right now, and that's pretty good. And as you can see, it slides out and slides back on there. I just got to center it up a little bit. Other than that, that's not too bad. I'm going to take and probably run some tape around it this way That's going to be real fun. So let me start right in here. See if I can get enough of this out that I think is the right length. This stuff is fun to deal with. It wants to, it's really thin stuff, but yet it's really strong as long as you don't cut it. Okay, so I want it right there. So I'm going to keep pulling it tight. I don't know if I was in camera, but I'm going to keep pulling it tight as I go around and laying it flat. I'm going to have to trim it right in here. I don't want to go that way with it. I want to get this flat right in this area. Yeah, there we go. Now that's good and flat. All right, now then I can take this other tail I got hanging right here and wrap it back around that way. Now then, it should seal to itself here real well. It clings to itself really well, and other materials. So that way I've got a nice edge around there. Now all I got to do, let's see if I can't slip that out of there. There we go. And I'm going to take right here where my handles are. Hope that's in frame. I can't see the viewfinder. Right here where my handles are and everything, you can see that lip sticking up. I'm going to take that and nip it to where I can fold that inside. Let's see if my hands will cooperate. My left is worse than my right, and I'm left-handed. I can take medication for this, but the medication is god-awful expensive. I used to have insurance, not no more. Obama took care of all that, and everything else took care of that, so I'm stuck and dealing without it, which I'm not going to die because I don't have it. It just makes things a little more difficult. Probably got my head in the way of the camera. There. Now I got it lipped over and it's got a good edge to it right there. I might do the same thing with some extra tape up here. Got a ripple in it. Don't know what caused that. Same thing with some more tape up in this area. And to store this, it's going to be in my kit and on the cup, so that way it stores with the cup, and I can nest all that together and I won't have a problem with it in my kit. So that should be good. So I'm going to take another piece of tape and see about running it around here. I won't bore you with that. I'll bring you back when I get that taken care of. All right, there it is. I've got it done. Got it. It slides on and off. I took it, cut it, and put it up in here. And naturally, I'm not going to cook with it on. That'd be crazy. Although I'm crazy anyway, but I wouldn't do that. I'll cook, get things heated up, do whatever I need to do. Then I can take it and just slip it down on it like that. There I go. I can hold the pot if I need to, do whatever. Then when it all nests together, naturally it'll be out of the way and there won't be anything loose. I'll just leave it on there like that and take it off when I need to. So that works pretty good. Now, a little trick is tape like this that's real hard to deal with. Here's another example, duct tape. See, I've got the little tail. I just fold the end of it back over itself so that when I go to grab it again, It's real easy to grab. I know right where the end of it is, and I'm not having to fight to try and find it, especially on this stuff. It'll blend in with it and you'll never find the end of it. So anyway, just food for thought. My next project, been working on this for a while. Nice little cast iron. I'm thinking it's a Lodge number 3, but I'm not sure. It's pre 1960, I think 3 or 4. I forget what the years are now. It doesn't have a Made in USA stamp on it. If cast iron has a Made in USA stamp, that means it's after that date. If there is no stamp on it, it's earlier than that. So this is a fairly old pot. How old? Pan, not pot. It's a pan. I don't know exactly how old. I've got to do some more research on it. Right down here on the handle, it's got an H, and the big number 3 stamped on it up there. So I've got it kind of cleaned out here. I've got to take and get all that crud off of it and then re-season it. And I've got a buddy of mine, my oven is not self-cleaning. You need to take and put them in a self-cleaning oven for a while. I forget what the temperatures are. I got to look back and find out what that is, and literally make all this crud into something you can get off of there, and then take and get it off and then start re-seasoning it. And to re-season one, it takes maybe as many as 7 times, and the best seasoning I found was flaxseed oil. So I'm going to get some flaxseed oil, run the oven up, put this in there, get it warm, put the oil on it for the first go, get it good and coated, put it back in there, let it cook into it or bake into it, whatever you want to call it, and then pull it back out, put another run in there, and keep doing it until you put the oil in there and the oil beads up. Once that oil beads up, then your cast iron is sealed, and it's sealed good. So from then on, you don't clean it with any detergents. You just hopefully just wipe everything out of it. So by then it should be seasoned pretty good. But this thing was in really bad shape. You can see from the outside. Inside, it was about that way. I got it cleaned out a little bit, and that's what I had the Band-Aid on my hand, because I was kind of using a wire wheel, and the wire wheel caught the edge, tried to run up across my hand here, and got me pretty good. But it is what it is. That's the next project I'm doing, plus some other stuff. So when I get going, I'll take you all along on the journey. Until then, y'all take care out there. Later. I want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more in the future that I put out, just subscribe. Until then, later.